Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This week I've been behind the wheel of the 2025 Subaru Forester, a compact SUV competing against the likes of the Honda CR-V and Mazda CX-5. There is a long list of competitors, but those are just two that I recently reviewed. And as I take you for a walk around, I'm going to be doing some competitor comparisons. Now do me a favor and hit that subscribe button because now it's time to get into consumer hot topics like pricing, options, real-world fuel economy, towing, cargo space, passenger comfort, and so much more. Subaru's 6th generation Forester gains new styling outside and in, chassis advancements, more technology, and more ownership convenience with the optional kick-to-open hands-free liftgate. This 2025 Subaru Forester Premier in Canada or Touring model in the US comes standard with Subaru's award-winning symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive system, is covered in the River Rock Pearl paint, equipped with the optional 19-inch wheels, which blend well with the Forester's increased wheel arches. Up front, the new star cluster emblem, grille, and LED lights combine to continue Subaru's signature style of creating rough and tough-looking vehicles, but now with a more modern twist. And keeping your family safe while on the road is Subaru's award-winning eyesight technology system, which also gains advancements in 2025. MSRP pricing for the convenience trim in Canada or base trim in the US begins at just over $36,100 Canadian or just under $29,700 US before options and tax. Regardless of which 2025 Subaru Forester trim level you decide to purchase, each is equipped with the same 2.5-liter, 4-cylinder, direct injection Subaru Boxer engine and, wait for it, everybody's favorite, CVT transmission. This is producing 180 horsepower with 178 pound-feet of torque and looks like this off the line when in S mode. S mode activated. Now, let's go. So SI mode essentially stands for Subaru Intelligent Drive Mode System, and the S is really sport mode and the I is intelligent mode and helps you to achieve better fuel economy. And on that note, I went out for two different 60-minute test drives combining both stop and go traffic and highway cruising at about 110 kilometers an hour or essentially 68 miles per hour. And in S mode, I was able to average 10.3 liters per 100 kilometers, which really isn't that good. But in I mode, intelligent mode, I was able to average 7.5 liters per 100 kilometers, which is decent. Your Forester will come equipped with standard roof racks, and as for ground clearance, this is slightly higher than both the Honda CR-V and the Mazda CX-5. However, I'm 5'3" and I can get in and out just fine. Now, when it comes to towing though, the Forester and the Honda CR-V can tow up to 1,500 pounds, whereas the Mazda CX-5 can tow up to 2,000 pounds. Now, if you decide to purchase the Premier trim in Canada or the Touring trim in the US, you're gonna automatically receive a kick-to-open power liftgate, which is new for 2025. But if you have an active family and you have to equip your Forester with a hitch, you're gonna lose that feature. As for cargo space, with the seats up, the Forester offers 779 liters or 25.5 cubic feet of space. With the seats down, space increases to 1,957 liters or 69.1 cubic feet. Again, look down in the description below for competitor comparisons. Additional features include a cargo cover, convenient buttons on both sides to help you lower the rear seats from here, a 12-volt port on the left side, hooks on both sides, and an all-weather trunk floor cover. And under the trunk floor, you'll find a temporary spare tire. The Forester is a 5-passenger SUV, and it doesn't matter if you're traveling with small kids, teenagers, or adults. 3 passengers are going to fit comfortably back here. If you're familiar with my channel, I never complain about leg and head space because I'm only 5'3", but the front seat passenger is currently set up for my producing partner who's 5'11", and I have tons of leg space, and head space is really good too. Now, in the Premier trim in Canada or Touring trim in the US, these outboard seats are heated, not the center portion. These seats are also fixed, meaning they don't slide forwards or backwards. They do fold like I've already demonstrated, and they have a really nice built-in recline. As for storage, you have Dual level pockets behind both front seats. Side door storage can be improved back here because it's almost non-existent. You can fit a cup or a bottle and maybe one small snack. I like the connectivity a lot. You have one USB, one USB-C port. When you want to turn on the heating for your seats, you'll find it behind the front center console, where you'll also find two real small vents. Make sure you speak to your Subaru specialist about your Starlink connected services subscription, because you gain a plethora of additional convenience features such as remote start, lock to unlock, vehicle finder, and if you're a parent, allowing your teenage driver to drive your Forester, you also have additional teenage safety features. So look into it. So again, reminder, this is the premier trim in Canada, or essentially the touring trim in the US. And here are some of the highlights. So first, up above, you do have a large sunroof, which is manual to open and then completely power operated. These front seats are ultra suede and leather combination. They are heated, ventilated, power operated, and offer lumbar support on the driver's side. The steering wheel is also heated, and on the left-hand side, you'll find your voice commands, your Bluetooth shortcut buttons for your audio sound system, which is Harman Kardon in this, and it's amazing. You could also customize slightly the center portion of your digital and analog driver cluster. On the right-hand side, you're going to find your adaptive cruise control buttons, and then also your SI modes, which I've already demonstrated. Moving to the infotainment system, it's tablet inspired. Love it. Super easy to use. This was not my first time, and that's why it was easy to use, but in general, it's really, really easy to use. And here are my go-tos. So first, your home button. Give it a click and you'll be able to see a variety of your available apps. This also comes in this trim with navigation. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay are standard and also wireless. Then my go-to is the vehicle icon. Give that a click, because your Forester has so much driver assisted technology. I speak more about it during my final driving impressions, but you're going to want to look across the top because you have vehicle control, driving assistance, and more settings. You have to set up your driver assisted preferences, especially if you don't like all the beeps. And then across, you also have additional screens as well. It even tells you your weather, so super convenient. Down below, this is where you're going to find your climate control panel, and then you have shortcuts to change your temperature too. It is touch operated, or you can slide, obviously. Down below here, this is where you set up your driver profiles, and of course that Android Auto and Apple CarPlay too. In this trim, you also receive a mobile charge pad. Here's my opinion on this. I love a mobile charge pad because it's convenient, but in this Forester, it moves around too much. So if you throttle mash it, this is actually coming on and off and sliding forwards and backwards. And then it starts to vibrate because it doesn't know if it's supposed to be charging or not charging. And then when it comes to additional connectivity down here, you receive one auxiliary port, one USB, one USB-C port. Inside the very small armrest, it's small and there's no additional connectivity. I also don't like this because it does not move. It's static. So for me, I'm sure my arm is always coming off. But let's go out for my final driving impressions. I also speak about visibility and noise cabin quality. 2025 Subaru Forester final impressions. And if I'm being completely transparent with you guys, and I like to think I always am, I would not purchase this top trim Premier in Canada, or essentially the touring trim in the US, because I love the sport mode trim. First of all, you're going to be able to save $4,000 to $5,000 depending on your market location. The trim on the exterior looks a little bit more aggressive. I like that. I have my favorite all-weather seats. Those are what you're going to gain. And you'll have the 18 wheel and tire combination. In this one, if you live somewhere where it's cold or winter tires are mandatory, you have to drop down to the 18s. And then if you have an active lifestyle like I do, you're automatically going to lose that hands-free kick to open power liftgate feature as well. So you're paying for a feature that you won't really have, and or you won't really use. And I said that before, but I would go sport trim level for sure. And regardless if you go sport trim or you go with this Premier or essentially touring trim, it's going to be top heavy. So when you're trying to have a more spirited drive and you're going on and off ramps, you will definitely feel the weight of the vehicle, which I mean is pretty much the same in most SUVs. And then I want to switch and talk about driver assisted technology. So I honestly think Subaru's eyesight system is the best. It comes with so many standard features, but in the upper trims, you also gain that frontal collision warning, pedestrian detection, bicycle detection. You have adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, lane centering, blind spot monitoring, 360 camera, rear cross traffic alert, great rear view camera. But what I really like is with that blind spot monitoring, the signal is actually right in your line of sight because it's placed on the exterior, but on the inside portion of your side mirrors on each side. I like that a lot. So that's really smart. Now, when it comes to visibility, amazing. And why? Because your infotainment system is right incorporated into your dash. So your whole front windshield is clear. Out the sides is fine. There's no blind spot out this B pillar, and definitely no blind spot out that C pillar because the window is so huge. So that is fantastic. Now, some improvements that Subaru's made is with noise cabin quality, and they have improved it. It definitely drowns out that CVT transmission. But when you're throttle mashing it, I mean, regardless, you're going to hear that CVT. And that's the only time where it's going to annoy you is when you throttle mash aggressively or when you're blending into the highway. That's it. Besides that, it's fine. Also, FYI, when you start cruising above 115 kilometers an hour, or essentially like 75, 80, 85 miles per hour, that's when you'll start hearing a lot of wind noise. But I only start hearing it in the front by the A pillars. It's fine if you're sitting on those back seats or back seat area. But guys, all that aside, what I like to do is recommend look down below in the description because I provide you with so much information down there and competitive comparisons. And while you're down there, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.